Well, he bataka make. But Jaden Chase, they have to make the fans them know what really are going on.
What you talking about is Jaden Place. See me up to the time, you know, a cartel. I represent for Jaden Chase. We spray them face on the AK race. See me up to the time, you know, the Gaza station.
Yeah, man, now, move settings nation. And we no need no ladder. Yeah, man, Jaden Chase and that one we could bring another exciting reasoning for the topic of dancehall, entertainment, and of course, current affairs. So if you're new to the channel, just a pass through. But when you like the reason and of course when you like the point of view, well, I'm suggesting to you that you click the subscribe icon and then kick in the like button. Now let's get right into the reasoning. No nation, Rowan Butler, Vybz Kartel's first manager. The person who Vybz Kartel himself accredits with giving him the link to Bounty Killer. And of course the rest was history as we know it. No nation, Butler has just exposed and confirmed that the conspiracy against Vybz Kartel started long before the initial trial and conviction. And this is from someone who was actually there when Vybz Kartel was put on the state's radar. May I make on hear what I'm saying? And they will continue the reasoning. Look and listen.
It's said in court, right? In the court and what I hear. So, a lot of it in my head, I believe it's a target.
And people targeting Kartel?
I think the system was at him.
The system?
After
the legal system?
Ever since Sting. I believe the system. Because what happened at Sting should not have happened. And a lot of them were upset because of it. And then when he sang the song that says, when Shatta go to jail, I think they took offense to that song too. Yeah, so from there, I think that's when they were like after him.
Yes, nation. Now let's continue the reasoning. Now when Butler said the system and the fact that it started at Sting in his own point of view, saying that, quote unquote, what took place there, the system did not want to happen. Now, of course, known to most of the people in the music industry, Sting and the primary chief promoters of that showcase were prominent members of the security forces, Leng, Heavy D, just to name a few. And even though Vybz Kartel would go on to perform on other Sting showcases, Butler is saying that the link was never the same. And we can't say it's true, because after the Vybz Kartel and the Movado on stage clash, Vybz Kartel chose to not perform on Sting the following year and chose to do his own show at the building, a show that was undoubtedly the most anticipated show for that boxing night of that year. And of course you know what took place. The JCF targeted that event. Butler also went on to say, through music, certain songs, he particularly spoke of a song, a track featuring Alozid, when Shatta go to jail. Them no empty no shit pail, grill fly, them no peep through real, them have herb and seal, them lawyer big Queen's Council, so them never worry about bail. Water sending female, high grade the nail and next seal. When you go prison, you go college, we're bigger than UWI and Harvard, Oxford and Yale. Butler said the system itself, state officials, also took offense to this recording. And remember, many of these state officials, lots of these corporate entities, were also investors in Sting. But as a grand summary of all that was detailed by Butler, control of Vybz Kartel, his artistry, his brand, his sense of direction for his career, is ultimately why the state went after Vybz Kartel. Vybz Kartel refused to follow up them and them corruption and become another one of their pawns in their game of chess against poor people. Vybz Kartel said best. A black man with a brain is too frightening, so them want any means necessary for survive, yes. Them no want to see the garrison youths rising, so them keeping fighting them. And in reality, these were of course songs that anybody and everybody related to. But not only that, Vybz Kartel was still experiencing similar situations of his own, even with certain people in the music industry and with the system itself. The situation that took place with Vybz Kartel and his incarceration, and the fact that he is undoubtedly innocent of all charges being brought against him, is now obviously clear. The fact that the state had strong motivation, reason to want him behind the bars can also not be denied. And also, nation, it can't be coincidence that Butler pointed out that the issue, or one of the issues, started at Sting. As I pointed out, an event hosted by prominent former ex-members of the JCF. And the fact that in Vybz Kartel's initial case, the tampering started with evidence held by the JCF. The fact that through music, through the fact that he used the music to educate the masses, he used music to shed light on situations taking place or situations being faced by people living in the inner city. The state itself and state officials also disliked him for that reason. The fact that he was outspoken and refused to be controlled by those who seek to control the free will of citizens right here on the island. And that is how they all start to link up and started this conspiracy. Remember, before a prosecutor, before the state can prosecute you for anything, there has to be a crime and a charge. The security forces, it have to start with them. Reports are hardly made directly to public prosecutors. It always, almost always, is made to the JCF. So that is why it is clear the conspiracy started there. And starting there meaning in the sense that we know the witness statement was collected by them, presented by them. The evidence, the so-called evidence that we have now found to be false, fraudulent, was collected and presented by them as well. They had phone and make call from them office, a ping off of the cell tower in close proximity. And making a call is different from receiving a call. There's no way this can be explained. No coincidence can happen. Nobody ever mistake it and feel like a feed them phone. You ever see evidence? It is in a bag, tagged. Now officer never mistake that phone for feed them phone. And this is clearly what Butler is saying. After Vybz Kartel's talent and after his dominance was established in the industry, it did not go unnoticed by the powers that be. The people in power hate those who they can't control. And we have seen the same scenario play out right across the globe, and not just locally. And yes, all of this hate are forward from the fact that Vybz Kartel refused to follow their status quo, to keep it the way them want to keep it, not for the benefit of the people, not for the benefit of him, not for the benefit of his friends and family, but for the benefit of the system. It just never seemed logical. And keep in mind, Vybz Kartel has always been a leader. Even when he was the group of three, he was the person writing the songs, setting the direction for the group. That are long before Portmore Empire days. We are talking about from the Vybz Kartel days, when that was not the artist's name, but the name of the entire crew. So talk to me in the comment section. Let me know how you feel by the statements, or about the statements made by Butler. You know what I mean? Saying that as far as Sting, you feel like it started from. You know what I mean? And then with songs like Shatta Go a Jail. Which keep in mind, Vybz Kartel was not incarcerated during the release of that track. He was in the streets. He was just making music. No illegal activity. Just entertainment. An industry which is licensed and sanctioned as legitimate business. But still, the JCF had Vybz Kartel on their radar. Clear conspiracy, if I've ever seen one. Vice the one called Jaden Chase, the dancehall correspondent, the Gaza representative, as I'm reminding you now. If you're new to the channel, new to the movement, just a pass through. But you like the reason and of course like the point of view, well, I'm suggesting to you that you click the subscribe icon, then the bell icon, and put it on all. And this is how you know you'll be notified of all fresh content as soon as fresh content is uploaded and made available for you right here on the platform. You know there's something going for those who don't. Drop a like and bust a share. Tell a friend for tell a friend for tell them sister and them brother them for check out the channel, check out the reason, join the discussion. The comment section is open 24/7, never lack yet. Just be respectful and mindful of the guidelines. But other than that, drop your thoughts, your comments, and yes, your opinions there. And we can continue the reasoning via the comment section. You know there's something go. You man now move settings fam. And we no need no ladder. And the reason again, my sentiments for you and yours are for to live, love, and prosper.